Today, Monday, July 13th, 2015 to order. It's the last business that we can hold for the FY15 calendar year, or FY15 fiscal year, sorry. There is 3 requests for transfers, a reserve fund, end of year appropriation transfers, a reserve fund transfer request. Sound right to everybody? Yes. Then we've got a couple of other housekeeping things we'll have to take care of before we leave tonight, including our minutes of our prior meetings, an invoice for future dues for the ATFC for FY16. So first, there is 3 end-of-year transfer requests, the numbered 8, 9, and 10. Number 8 is for $967 from general expense of the treasurer collectors to the administrative clerical of the treasurer collector, and it is to cover 2 days' salary. There's another one for $50 from the Board of Health 511-5112 account to the planning 01-175-5114 to balance clerical payroll relating to an unanticipated step increase. There is another transfer request for $736.85 from Selectmen General Expense 1225421 to the Town Administrator salary for 1235112, and this is to account for salary for the interim town administrator during June of 2015. Take these, we'll do these 3 first, and then we'll get into the reserve fund separately since it's different sort of accounting. So treasurer collector, would you like to speak to this?
The total on the backup page was correct. The link wasn't there, so whatever total that happened to be in there on the front page was what was in there, and that was short $900.
And you have the money available in the general expense?
Yes.
I don't understand what you said. You have to explain that again. I really don't understand what you just said.
The backup, I had the backup page with all the salaries.
Okay.
Yeah, was correct, had the right amount.
I didn't see the backup, so explain why the salary line item was shot.
Well, because the total that was in the front page, on the first page, was not.
I don't know what page is on. So tell me why the line item was shot.
Why it was short?
Yeah, I mean, the town meeting voted a certain amount that was put in your line item. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So why would that be shot?
Because it wasn't the right amount for the 52.2 weeks that we had.
So the budget requested was short because there was, and you didn't carry over the calculations from what.
The correct amount for
There was an error in the calculation.
the second page, yes.
Coming from the financial side, you don't check that before, once the budget was submitted? I'd like to see the backup on that.
I can get downstairs and get it if you want.
It'll be a couple minutes if you want to get it.
I mean, like.
Tonight's our last night to do business, so I'd like to get it.
You know, like what it was, 52.4, if I can see exactly what the budget should be. What was the budget and what it was?
Oh, it's up to you. I'll certainly get downstairs and get it.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll wait on that one. $50 from Board of Health to planning. We don't have anybody here tonight, but I believe that this just relates to the fact that the merging of departments and end of year accounting of, attending more meetings of one body than the other body. This, as we know, will be cleaned up in FY60 to not be required because they're, in the budgeting standpoint, also merged, so that this flexibility of $50 being moved is no longer needed for FY16 going forward. Are there questions on this, though, that maybe somebody in the audience can answer?
I mean, why is it $50 short? I know it's a small amount.
It says to balance the clerical payroll, and they say it's moving from Board of Health 5112, which is salaries. Cindy, 5112 is salaries, to planning 5114, which is different salaries.
Oh, the salaries is
512 is professional, 5114 is clerical.
Office email today too?
If I did, I didn't review it.
Because there was a mistake on it, and
A mistake on
um, but I can resolve it because there's money in another line item which is part of inspection. And I'll leave like a 30-cent deficit. And handle that.
That's a rounding error.
It's like those dollars that tell me, rounding up or down. He sent you an email for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to open it right now so I can read it to the committee. On the, okay, this is separate from this $50. There's another email he's referencing something else. On the attached request, an error was made regarding balance of my salary line. Instead of $66.94, there was only $14.98 as a balance. Heidi used the wrong hourly rate in her calculations. The town accountant, Cindy Brennan, said we can use planning and clerical 01175-5114 for $40.85 and building clerical for something else. I will be unable to attend tonight's meeting due to another commitment, but Cindy Brennan will be there and make necessary explanation. Okay, so the account was really short $66.94.
Take his $14.98. There's $25.57 left in the inspection admin clerical, which is the same.
Admin clerical to admin clerical.
So what will happen is there'll be a 30-cent deficit.
So-
Cleans it up and that's fine.
So we need to vote this.
You can sign off on that.
Okay, so we need to vote this, and then they'll be short something else, but you can make it work with it.
What I have.
The lesson. So this, because it's already voted by the selectmen, so they'd have to reopen it and then have a meeting before, so it's,
Okay.
this is why we merged the departments, we don't have this issue. Or merged the finances, I should say. Is there a motion on this one? Or any more discussion? Is there a second? Any more discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? So 4-1. Next is for $736.85 from Selectmen General Expense, 1225421, to Town Administrator Salary, line item 1235112. Present balance and set appropriation is $43.15, and this is salary for the interim Town Administrator during June of 2015.
Like 12 hours at the very end of the month.
Was he getting paid more than Mr. Phillips?
You're getting paid the same.
The same, so the money should go in.
No, because Mr. Valen got his, he continued on vacation and used up right down to June 19th.
So there's an overlap?
There was a little overlap, yeah.
How many days is that?
Well, he's,
12 hours, she said.
12 hours. So, it's still good enough.
what?
We didn't figure Mr. Phelan was taking vacation?
He did take vacation, he took all of his vacation.
So he worked while he was on vacation.
Yeah.
Mr. O'Brien worked during Mr. Phelan's vacation week?
Yep. And he's working way more than his 15 hours.
Which is typical.
Yeah.
So how long, I'm sorry, Mr. Phelan was on vacation until
On the payroll through June 19th.
June 19th. And when did Mr. O'Brien's
He actually started up on June 4th officially.
officially? Okay. So there's about 3 weeks there. There was some form of overlap. They're both part-time, so how many hours each week and all that kind of stuff. But that's why you end up with the $736. Other questions in terms of this? No? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? This is 5-0. All right, so we'll go on to the reserve fund transfer and come back to the treasurer collector when he comes back to us. So there's a request to move money from the reserve fund in the amount of $16,525.95 to line item 1235190, town administrator contractual obligations. This is a contractual obligation for the former town administrator, Mr. Phelan, to cover unused personal and sick time. Do you want to speak to this?
It's 10.5 hours of personal time, and it's 222 hours of sick time.
He was part-time.
Mr. Phelan was part-time.
Who was keeping track of when he was out sick and when he was personal time?
Me.
I'll do that. It's 10 days. See that, right?
Do you know what his, what
It was 20.
what his contract was for what he accrued? Or do you have a copy of the contract? Yeah, so what the accrual rate was, what the rate was, or? Yeah, if you have the contract, that's perfect. Thank you.
Just need to go to Kevin. Just need to go to Kevin. No, does it need to go to Kevin?
Oh, no.
It's your
Yeah,
copy.
thank you, yeah.
Okay. Excuse me.
Paul, what was this money for? Which person was this money for?
Thanks.
It was, well, it made up of two parts. The $500 for the health insurance reimbursement, and the others were all three personnel. Yep, all three. If you look at the front page, none of those amounts carried through to the first page.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Can you explain does everybody have this sheet? I'm on the backside.
I didn't know it was back.
But sort of the calculation part. The 2% increase, so was he not taking the 2% increase for the 9 months?
He didn't get the 2% until just now. It was a vote of the Board of Selectmen, I don't think it was in October, it was a little after that, but it was retro. His contract renews in October,
Right.
so it went back to that October.
But that's what I'm saying, so from October, I understand that, so he was due an increase in October of 2014, and so he wasn't getting that increase from,
Was not getting that increase.
do we know why that wasn't happening?
Well, he didn't have a signed agreement.
Or wasn't it signed in October?
He had that contract. But no one on that. He had a vote.
So the contract, this contract has a date, a sign date of 6/26/12 by the Board of Selectmen.
Right, that contract was a 3-year with an automatic 1-year extension. It's the 1-year extension when he got the raise.
Which, according to mass laws, I understand is actually illegal to do. They can only enter into a 1-year agreement when they're entering into it. They can't enter into an automatic extension of a contract. By law, we can only enter into 3-year employment agreements. And it doesn't automatically renew. It's up to the Board of Selectmen to actually vote a renewal of the contract. But I understand, so, but then, that being said, this would have been then in place, wouldn't it? Or has there been a vote since for them to?
There was a vote to do the 1 year and to give him 2% increase.
When was that vote?
That vote was after October, but I don't know the exact date.
I mean, but it was before December, before the calendar year change? Or,
No, it was
yeah,
somewhere
so,
around the turn of the year, somewhere right around there. Maybe a couple months into that year.
but if,
It wasn't recent.
When he had, it wasn't when he resigned, no.
It was not.
right, so it was sometime between, I'm going to say between October and January, October of 2014 and January of 15, probably somewhere then, maybe give or take a month or something like that. I'm not going to hold you to it, but sometime this past winter,
Yes.
they ratified the 1-year agreement, but so when that was ratified, say January, just to make it simple,
It was just.
there wasn't a retro and there wasn't a increase in the, is there normally a process to do that contracts go to the accountant's office or somebody, or I mean, I just don't want to see us having a problem in the future where if an increase is voted and then all of a sudden at the end of the year we go, oh yeah, we gave this person an increase or this group of people an increase a year ago, but we never actually paid it out, so now we're paying out, you know, if we're actually watching the books as we go, everything looks good, and then all of a sudden we get hit with something. What is the process normally when an increase is done, or who signs the warrant, or who's responsible for it, I guess?
Or are they gonna fund it
It
for that
wasn't
year?
funded.
Would have been in his salary. If it renews in October, you already would have voted in the budget and all that stuff, so wouldn't have been in his salary plan for that year, correct?
Yeah, but it's still an obligation.
No, I bet down in that, because.
So I agree, it would have been something, would have had to come up to special town meeting and say, hey.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
We're off, whatever it is, $1,200 that we need to get out through the rest of the year, and town meeting would have been voting it in May, and it would have said, you know, agreed, or said, no, don't work the last 3 weeks of the year, and we don't want to fund that increase. They would have had an option in that, and more likely than not, they would have funded the increase, which is what typically happens.
But that never came to us either.
Somebody wouldn't, but at least, you know. But I just want to understand the process where that,
Right.
why that didn't happen. And I don't know that I'm,
So it never made it to town meeting, his increase,
right, and
contract.
town meeting wouldn't have voted specifically the increase in the card. They would have been voting to increase a dollar amount within the salary administrator's salary line, item, which has more than one position, but.
Which wasn't there either.
Correct, so that request was not presented to town meeting to increase that line item. Right?
Well, it should have been paying then if town meeting didn't approve it.
Well, that's what we have the reserve fund for. I mean, that is how we can do it. So that was I guess that's the first thing, the 1,260. Jump over sick leave for a second. So the personal time, 10 hours is the balance of, even though,
10.5 hours, yeah.
okay. Now actually this front side's kind of interesting because I remember that he gave notice on the 13th and said that he was leaving on the 15th, but then he continued to actually take vacation for 7 weeks. And I don't know why, if an employee leaves under their own volition, that we're allowing them to take they're allowed to take vacation. Personal, they're allowed to, because according to state law, they get that automatically, it's paid out. Same thing with sick time, but vacation is an earned benefit that we don't have to pay out if they decide to leave on their own volition, which is what this employee did. So I'm not sure why we're paying vacation for 5 weeks.
Well, how does he earn it? Does he get it at the beginning of the year, so you get 5 weeks vacation as part of his benefits, and therefore whenever during the year, or is it accrued over the year?
We paid it out. I don't know, and I'm not sure why we're,
Oh,
it's a question. I don't know that I have answered
Good
it.
question.
And we very well could be. I don't,
Well, the part that's funny, he says he's leaving the 15th, and then what it says in here is he's verbal notice, there was no actual written time, so it's almost like there was no actual, when's your last day, oh, I have some vacation left. All right, we'll pay, since your vacation, we'll count your last day as June 19th, and just use your vacation for that, so you're still getting paid. I'm assuming.
We did not have a written resignation.
do we have one now? Technically, the contract's still in effect. Am I wrong? I mean, it's, nobody, neither the Board of Selectmen have they taken a vote to terminate this, to rescind this, to end this, to accept a resignation, to anything?
Yeah, I know he
But have the
knows
Board of
it's-
Selectmen actually taken a vote to that effect? I mean, because they don't have an actual letter, they don't have a,
Doesn't he have to turn the letter of resignation would go to the Board of Selectmen, correct?
I want to be clear, my opinion. I have, if the town has entered into a contract with a person, we're obligated to pay something, and nothing wrong with the town paying it. I think I have a lot of concern about this, how it has folded, how it's unfolded here. And is it, not that the calculations aren't accurate, I don't question the calculations and the math involved. I question, are we actually obligated to pay these things? And if we are, then I have no problem, making a reserve fund or getting a town meeting and saying it's the responsibility of the town. We entered into a contract as a community. But I don't feel comfortable right now.
I'm not, listen, we pay these increases when someone terminates their employment. We haven't seen this termination of employment yet.
He could come back and say he's
Still working.
still working, yeah.
I was under contract.
I don't want to vote for things like a 2% raise, not that it was observed, all that stuff. And I don't think maybe I was supposed to be aware, but I'm not aware of it now. I'm aware of it now, but I don't remember it being, when there was plenty of time to bring it before other people, us, the town, whoever needed to. Granted, they don't vote on the increase, they still vote on the funding of it. They didn't have that opportunity.
No, we never saw the 2% increase mid-year.
I don't remember. That's what I'm clear. I don't remember seeing it. That's not 100% infallible, but none of us remember seeing it. Someone you would think would say, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, because there would have been quite a discussion on it,
Yeah, sure.
mid-year increase.
Still going.
What's the pleasure of the committee? I mean,
I'm not.
I spoke my opinion, but I
I'm not
don't,
comfortable with it at all.
I'm not going to vote for it.
Yeah.
I'm not voting for it.
Because you can still, if it's a reserve fund transfer, well, we can pay him next year, which I realize is next week.
yeah.
The money's in the reserve fund transfer, that goes to, where does it end up?
It goes to free cash. Well, it goes to balance free cash.
And in theory, if we did a really good job, we'll have extra free cash. Not extra. Free cash, I know is not free, I get the whole thing, but I'm just saying, there's the potential that the 16,000 will go.
Yeah, the money's not being spent, it's being booked into
That's all I'm saying.
the bank account, if you will.
We could maybe make a mental note when we do our free cash. When City comes back and says in $2 million in free cash, we take $16,000 off of that.
That'd be a good year. We'll take that.
I'm looking at this as positive as I can.
We'll take that.
But this is what the town is obligated as of June 19th, correct?
There's a request from the Board of Selectmen to fund $16,525.95 to pay what they believe is town administrative contractual obligations.
Through June 19th.
That's what the calculations are done for, yes, through June 19th.
And how does this play out if we don't approve it tonight?
If this isn't approved tonight, then it could be brought to the special town meeting to fund it. If it's deemed that it needs to be funded, and it would come to the special town meeting in the fall to say fund, contractual obligations. I don't know, depending on when we actually get the letter of resignation, it could be a prior year bill or it could not be a prior year bill. I don't know how that would actually, and I don't know how payroll plays into prior year bills or not. I mean, it's kind of like we do sick leave buyback right now with employees that we pay it out. I'm not saying that that pertains here, but the same concept that it was earned in the prior, but you pay it out in the 3-year increments. So I'm not sure that the prior year thing, 9/10 is going to play into this issue at all. But it gives us time to understand it and make a valid recommendation to town meeting, or to do a reserve fund transfer if we deem appropriate in the fall, when we come back, if we have more and better information and feel that it's.
FY16 appropriations?
In my opinion, that would be fine, if it's deemed that we owe the money. Ideally, it would go to town meeting, but if for some reason it, the issue was forced and it needed to happen, or we weren't going to meet until next May or something. So there seems to be, from an informal vote, that this would not be approved. So I guess.
I move to not approve said reserve transfer.
Is there a second to not approve?
Second.
All right. So I'll do like the town moderator. So this is a vote in the negative, which means. Yay. Means that we are not approving this transfer request. So all those in favor of not approving this transfer request? All right. Those opposed? Okay. So that was 5 to 1 to disapprove.
Okay.
And I think date of meeting 0. What's today? 13th.
Voted, are we? This isn't 18th, right? No.
Marjorie, quick question. Was it already discussed how the 222 sick hours were calculated?
Just curious.
Yeah.
I was about to get into that.
So he accumulated about a contract. And he used the law,
So, the
25
way,
years for 3 years, 25 hours a week for 3 years. Whatever the contract
right.
eliminates it to 6. I don't know the calculation in front of me, so they give
Right, that's what I'm looking at right here. So it's 15, the sick leave portion, 15 work days each year.
5-hour workday.
Sorry, Kevin, what did you say? 15
15 work days
per year?
per year, yes.
Work.
Was it 75 hours a year?
15 times 5. Yes.
Am I missing it? Does it? Oh, hours of work. Here we go. Vacation, personal, sick, and holiday pay 1 day is the equivalent of 5 hours. Okay, so it's, I want to make sure that was clear in there somewhere. Let's see, yeah, so was the equivalent of 75 hours per year would be eligible. And it was effective on October 3rd of the year of eligibility. So at the beginning of the, Yeah. So at the beginning of the term, he was awarded it wasn't an accrual basis, it was a lump sum up front. And it does say in here, under C, that upon the termination of this agreement for any reason, the employee shall be entitled to compensation for any unused vacation.
What about sick?
Under personal days, it says the same thing, and under sick, it says the same thing. Employee shall be entitled to compensation for any
Unused sick.
So you can get the vacation a day, beginning of the week.
The vacation is awarded the first annual day of the contract.
But the other thing is, if he leaves on the 15th of May, sick time stops accruing.
No, not the way this is worded. If the sick time is awarded on the first day, so on October 3rd, he was given 15 days of sick time, 3 days of personal time, and 25
So
days.
that's October 2nd, so
He gets it.
Yeah.
his contract.
Yep.
This was reviewed by our lawyers, right? This was, I don't think that's
Well, he was reviewing it. It says contracts. I'm not saying he didn't do it, it's a good contract. You can get, Board of Selectmen read it, and they approved it. They signed off on it. Employee's fault. Not his fault.
All right. Back to any other things on that? Issue 8. So this is the administrator, the treasurer collector's office, $967. We'd ask for some more information. Some more information was provided. Any other questions? All those, is there a motion?
A motion to approve.
$967 from general expense to the treasurer collector administrative clerical.
Motion to approve that, yes.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor of that? That's 6-0. 6 of us present. Okay, so I want to be clear. There is nothing else for us, right? So we voted, there were 3 transfer requests that were presented to us, 8, 9, and 10. And then the reserve fund transfer that was
9, 10,
denied.
and 6, that's it. Right? 8, 9, and 10, and then the reserve fund.
The reserve, okay, yeah. So the reserve fund as of right now sits at $60,273.20. The finance committee has $33 in our account for FY15. You guys can look at that, that's just an informational piece. There is an invoice for $204 for the ATFC annual dues, the Association of Town Finance Committees annual dues for July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016 in the amount of $204. I would normally wait to take this up to new business till we have a reconstituted committee, but in the past we've been late with payments, so I'd like to pay on time. Is there a motion to approve the $204 for the ATFC dues?
And we have that money in our account, correct?
In the this is FY16
Yep, I
bills.
understand
Yes,
that.
we have the money in the FY16 bill.
I so moved to pay the bill, 204.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Okay. I will ask that, can we have a blank warrant before you leave? So we'll sign the warrant.
A voucher.
A voucher, there you go. That thing.
Want it now?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to sign it now so that way you can pay it.
Ready?
All right, so we did that. I want to confirm our,
Administrative position is
we have to approve the meeting minutes of, do you have the dates of those meetings?
May 6th, which was the night of town meeting.
So is there a motion to approve the minutes of May 6th?
So moved.
Sorry.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? All right, that's approved.
Yeah.
June 1.
June 1st, motion to approve the minutes of June 1st.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? All right.
And June 22.
And June 22nd?
So moved.
Seconded.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? What about July 13th? Why don't you clean up tonight too? All right, so currently on the Finance Committee, Mike, your term will end at the end of July 2016, so you're on for your term is at least for one more year. Susan's term ends in July of 2016. My term currently ends in July of 2017. Peter, yours is July of 2017. Christina's ends on Wednesday. She has stated that she will not be seeking reappointment. Paul, you end on Wednesday, and I've already given you lots of praise, so I won't make you blush tonight. But Paul won't be returning, and then PJ, you're up, and you want to return?
I will be returning at this point. It's always, it's funny, because it comes up in the middle of July, and it's super important. It's fun.
Meetings are like this every time. I'll do
I
it.
like these meetings.
And Paul, you're up in 2016.
So Michael, Susan, and Paul are in 2016?
So 2016 is Michael, Susan, and Paul, yes. And so we'll have 2 3-year appointments and one 2-year appointment that the town moderator will be making. As I said, there's been 4 people that I know have expressed an interest in the position. I think at least 2 have submitted formal letters. Another 2, I've told them to try to submit them by July 15th through the Board of Selectmen's office. That way they've all gone that way.
Did you
so
tell them
far.
one of them has to be secretary?
What's that?
One of them has to be secretary.
I want to get them to come.
Okay. Sorry.
There's 3 of them, so I'm thinking chairman, vice chairman, and secretary. We'll be all
I
set.
think the town moderator has to take that into account.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have that voucher? We'll sign that. $204.
Yeah.
What's that? It's not dues for next year. Well, so
School
for
won't be finished. It was actually finished till the fall of 2017, right?
No.
Right, fall of 2017.
Yeah.
Just ends in the,
No, the school will be finished too.
I thought they were starting in December.
They can have the occupancy. Will be done then. They can then start the school year sometime.
Last I heard, they could. You also know a lot more than I do.
All right.
I'm just saying that was always
That's
presented to
the
me.
date is, we're looking for the 5th.
We need 5 signatures?
yes, we need a majority. All right, so a couple things just to keep apprised of over the summer months before we come back. Good news is that the water treatment plant, at least in theory, has been voted by the Tri-Town. There's still a lot of hurdles in place, and there's a lot of meetings at the state level that have to happen, and more approvals up that way. But that project seems to be moving along. Paul, if we borrowed money yet for the school? We have.
I don't think you have to sign. Just fire it.
Yeah, about $6 million, which will be coming due next June. And at that time, we'll probably finance out the whole project up to maybe about $1.5 million short.
Will we have to pay any interest on that $6 million next June, or will you be able to roll that into the final? You don't know. You can get a snap.
No, because we already put the 120 on the $6 million we borrowed right now. So there'll be, 17 would be there'll be something in 17's budget.
So 17 is when we'll start actually paying
Paying.
for the whole project.
Yes.
For the Tri-Town.
No, it's for the school.
School.
For the school, I just mentioned.
I didn't hear what you said.
Tri-Town is a little bit of a ways out because there's, like I say, there's a lot of meetings now that happen after the state. We have to meet with MWRA again, as I understand it. The state has to sign off on paying, the legislature approved paying for half of the project, but it's up to the, not the EPA, the state DEP, I think, or somebody, but also that person is the same as the chairman of the MWRA, I believe. So, which makes it difficult because they want us to join the MWRA. So we have to meet with them again and get them to okay us not joining the MWRA, and that this is a more fiscally responsible solution for us and that there's enough water for us to supply our towns with the water. But that project seems to be moving forward. I know Weymouth Pine Sycamore's moving forward, and hopefully we'll be done by the end of the summer. I know that's a big bond that we borrowed, so at least we'll get to
Anybody
see
know
that
what's
happen.
going on with the transfer station?
As far as I understood, that there's a 3-week, which I think ends maybe sometime this week.
I think it's this week.
A review
yes.
period for people to submit letters to the DEP, and if the DEP gives it the final approval, then as far as the state's concerned, they're approved, and it's up to our Board of Health to sign off on the site plan approval or something like that. Or, does that sound?
That was a new one. That was
Well, yeah,
a new one.
I thought it was 3 weeks. I thought that DEP, well, I thought the state DEP was like sometime in the middle of July that you had to have your letters into them, and then they have whatever time they want to take to review it. But at that point, sort of, in theory, everything's finalized. I'm sure somebody could go a legal route again if they wanted to, but I think they are. But I think that, well, actually, that's a good point. I think that from the Finance Committee standpoint as well as from an individual standpoint, if you want to write a letter, I would suggest that you write letters to the DEP in favor of it. I'm sure they're getting a lot of letters from others that might not be in favor of it, especially towns that aren't going to get the benefits of it like we would. But there are significant financial benefits for the town, including, you know, the free waste pickup, the drop-off site, and tax revenue, and actual revenue from the tonnage that would be run through that facility. And the calculations, I remember them, were well into the 6 figures in terms of the revenue from the tonnage, letting aside the impact of the tax revenue because of the personal property that would be going into that facility and the commercial nature of it. Another big thing is we still own cleaning up that facility because the town owns it. And the last projection 5 years ago was over $1 million to clean up that site that the owners of the transfer station would do. So I think that from a financial standpoint, I think it was very beneficial to the town 5 years ago. I think it's still beneficial to the town to see that project move forward. It'd be nice to see some activity, some commercial activity in this town. So I would say that, but that's in short time. So if you're going to do it, I think you can go onto the Sun, and I think they had an article about it. You can go online and see it and get the address that you have to send a letter to and everything. But I think it'd be good to get some letters in support of it. I'm sure they might be getting some others. Any other big projects that are going on that you got to keep our eyes on over the summer? Or? Yes, there's a. When is your auction? Wednesday. So there's a big auction Wednesday. You're gonna pull in 7 figures? 7 figures?
There's only one piece of property that's worth it. The rest.
No. You gotta sell it. You gotta sell it. They're all worth something. They're all worth something to somebody.
But we're not being recorded.
They're worth, but they're worth something to somebody, and they're worth nothing to us because right now we're not getting any tax on it. So even if somebody wants to pay us $1, hey, now they gotta pay taxes on it. That's great. And we don't have to take care of it and let it turn to waste and.
What was the property he's talking about? I don't know.
What's that?
So all the pieces have already been priced with the low minimum bid? Yeah, okay. Paul, one question about the schools and the debt. So taxpayers will see their first amount owed in fiscal year 2017. So that first payment, August 2016, will be the first time we see the increase for the schools?
No.
That's a good question. It would be in November. It all depends on what time I borrow it, whether it's in November or the February.
Okay,
I got a feeling it's going to be February because the preliminary probably won't want to do
okay.
so.
So February 2017.
But aren't we paying the interest on the $6 million you just said? We have to pay the interest in 2016. And that interest should be debt excluded. So technically, we should be paying $120,000 for the school project in FY16 of debt service. Right, $120,000.
Right.
But technically, we will be paying some interest on money borrowed in FY16 because we borrowed it in June of 2015, so it has to be paid. And then the $6 million will be re-rolled, but we have to pay that interest for 1 year on that.
Valid question.
And then, so the first big payment, if in theory you're borrowing it in June of next year, then you'd have an interest payment 6 months later, right? Which would be that February timeline.
2017, okay. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you.
All right, any more discussion? All All right, good night.
Thank you.